Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us today. You may have noticed my apparel here is somewhat regal and royal today because we have a celebrity interview. We have Panama City's very own Tori Cowan, who is Miss Florida. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Tori.
Thank you for having me.
I know we've had a great conversation even before we started the show, and I'm just so impressed. You know, there are some perceptions about pageants.
Absolutely.
Is it all about just being pretty?
No, not even close, and especially not with the Miss America organization. The one thing that we really promote is education. And all of the Miss America contestants, we actually got to go to Washington, D.C. We got to go to the White House, the Capitol. We got to meet with the Department of Education and learn more about our partnership with STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and how we can really promote that throughout the country. And it's about education.
Especially for young women. They may be underrepresented in those STEM fields, don't you think?
No, absolutely. And like we were talking about, Avon, Kotex, it's a female industry, but it's being led by all men. So I think a lot of women don't realize that those are type of fields that they can go into, but it's all about education at an early age, at middle school and high school, and getting them interested and not thinking that, it's hard, but it's doable.
There's so many things I want to ask you about the pageant, but you get a crown, you get a sash, you have a reign, you have to take a year out of your life to do all this public service type stuff. And I guess that's all over the place, not just in Florida.
It is, yeah.
And you're home this week from college, or you're in town this week to talk to local schools, aren't you?
I am. The Miss Florida organization partnered with the Florida Everglades Foundation in 2009, and I'm starting a school tour for them promoting, the preservation of the Everglades. A lot of people don't realize that, it's the water supply for 8 million Floridians, and 1 in every 3 of us, it's our drinking water.
The Everglades.
The Everglades.
Ooh, where the alligators swim.
Both the alligators, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, winning the pageant isn't just the privilege of having this reign. You also get a scholarship too, right?
Yeah, I won $18,000 at Miss Florida, and then another $1,000 for winning prelim swimsuit, and then another $10,000 for getting third runner-up.
Wow. Third runner-up to Miss America. That is so huge. Right here from little old Panama City.
Little Lynn Haven.
Yeah. From little old Lynn Haven. How about that? Which is a great little town, too, by the way. So what's the next step for you? How long does your reign last, and what are you going to do afterwards?
Well, it's until next June. So this entire year I'll be traveling not only on my school tour for the Everglades, but also to all the different children's miracle networks across the state. And, then I'll go back to FSU. I'm thinking about possibly studying abroad now that I almost have $35,000 in scholarship money. It's something that is an option for me. And then I'm double majoring in marketing and professional sales, hopefully going into the medical device sales.
Isn't that something? That's amazing. We have to run off to the local weather. But on the other side of that, I want to talk about how you can serve as a role model to young women and how young women maybe sell themselves short sometimes for maybe other things like a guy or a boyfriend or whatever. And maybe they're not as career-oriented as the guys are sometimes.
Right.
And we'll talk about that after our local weather here, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm, westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Panama City's very own Tori Cowan, who is Miss Florida and a third runner-up to the Miss America pageant. Tori, thank you so much for coming back on the show. We have the best interviews during the breaks here.
We do.
And we talked about the problems that maybe some young women have and how starting off in life on the right trajectory is so important.
Right, it's like a launching pad. So when I was 15 years old, I started my platform, One Chance, One Choice. And it was just a small mentoring program. I talked to all the girls at Panama City Dance Academy, where I was teaching classes at the time. And I was surrounded by watching some peers make decisions that I wasn't necessarily comfortable with, and I didn't understand why they were making these decisions until honestly I made one of my own. I was 15 years old. I was so excited because I just got my permit, and my grandma was picking me up from school with a friend, so I really wanted to drive. Now, even though my mom told me I couldn't and my grandma told me I could, I made that decision to disobey her, and I got in the car. And we were going around by Tropical Smoothie on 390, and someone ran the stop sign into the front of our car, knocked us across the street and into the tree. So the car was actually totaled. I was in a neck brace as well as my friend, and my grandmother was rushed into immediate back surgery. And so it was like then in that moment, my whole perspective changed, and I realized that it's every decision that we make is so important. And that's what I try to teach these girls. I try to empower them to know that, you know, if they set the right goals for themselves and they know where they want to be, that they can be more present and aware of the decisions they're making every single day.
You know, I think the popular culture just objectifies young women so much. Now, you look at these music videos and it's crazy stuff. I'm so glad I had sons and not daughters. With all due respect, it would kill me.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
My parents had an easier time with my brother.
Your poor dad. I got to shake his hand one day. But and I'm sure you were a good kid and all that, but it's so true. You know, these early decisions, these early mistakes can have, you know, repercussions for the rest of your life.
Right, and nowadays you really have to worry about, you know, social media as well. You know, posting one picture can come back and haunt you 10 years from now. And I think that's something that our parents didn't necessarily have to worry about.
There was like no such thing as computers when I was your age, so you know, I didn't have to worry about that stuff. But that's true. I mean, you do one stupid thing at a party or whatever, and it's all over the place. It can go viral.
Right, and I think that, you know, our youth also need to know that it doesn't make you cool to go out and party and make these bad decisions. It makes you cooler when you know exactly what you're doing and you have the ability to say no to these temptations that you're facing.
If there's any young women right now who are watching this, maybe they're in school, maybe young girls, you know, what advice would you give them? I mean, would it be something about goal setting or just being a good student, or what would you tell them?
I know that, you know, in my life, having Miss America as that goal and striving towards that helped me be more aware of the decisions I was making every day, more present, and knowing that if I did this, then it might affect my goal later on in life. So if I had to say one thing, it'd be really figure out who you are as a person, what you want to do later on in life, set that goal for yourself, and make the right decisions so that one day you can get there.
So set goals early and work toward getting them. And you know, there's a lot of people along the way who'd like to help you reach those goals too, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have a lot of resources around Panama City, so you just have to reach out.
Tori Cowan, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're really proud of you, and thanks for everything you do for our young women here.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
And good luck to you, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hi, I'm David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Your axles are the last link in transferring power from the engine to the wheels. They are strong and they last a long time, but they can run into problems. Axles are wearable items. They will just wear out over time and need to be replaced. Sometimes axle seals leak, causing the axle to wear out prematurely. Lubricant leaks out and water and dirt can get in to contaminate the gears. When this happens, you might hear strange noises coming from your axles. If you have a rear-wheel drive vehicle, you'll hear a groaning noise coming from the back of the vehicle. If your vehicle is front-wheel drive, you'll hear the noise coming from the front. And of course, if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle and got both rear axles and front axle problems, you'll hear a problem from the front and the rear. A surefire sign that you have an axle problem is if you're turning left or you're turning right and you're hearing a clicking noise. Click, 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 click. Get your car to a shop soon because you got an axle problem. When there's a concern with the axle shaft, it'll be removed and inspected. If it is damaged, the shaft will have to be replaced. If the shaft is in good shape, it'll be cleaned, lubed, and reinstalled. If the axle fails completely, it can cause severe problems to include damaging the transmission. Taking care of your axles when they become a problem saves you time and money in the long run. If you got a question of whether or not your axles are bad or not, stop by Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. We'll do a free inspection and let you know the condition of your axles. I'm David Lovett, and that has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hey folks, this is Joshua Brown with Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. Is your check engine light on? If it is, text MADHAT28, that's MADHAT28, to 24247.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Tara Griffin at Emerald Coast Dental Sleep Medicine and Donna. Donna, thank you for letting us barge in on you today. Now, what's going on with Donna? You're in the middle of a treatment here, right?
I am. Donna is a chronic pain patient, and she has experienced TMJ pain, neck pain for 30 years. She fractured her jaw about 30 years ago, and it never healed quite right. And so she's been, she's chronically in pain every day, and undergoes physical
TMJ
therapy.
Is that?
Yes, it's the whole complex of muscles and joints and cartilage that make up, you know, how we function as far as the mouth goes. It's a very important joint. However, there are a lot of problems, especially with women, with TMJ pain or muscle pain mainly.
And how do you go about to treat something like that? It just sounds like it's in a real sensitive area, and
it certainly is, and there are different modalities for treating it. The most invasive is surgery, which is rarely done today, but certain cases may need that. However, we have just introduced an MLS laser into our practice, which is a cold laser, and it is a wonderful treatment option in order to try to eliminate pain meds as well as surgery and naturally heal the muscle.
So what does this cold laser do? I guess it penetrates into the muscle groups somehow?
It does. The difference between an MLS laser and other types of lasers is there are two different wavelengths that it works off of. And so there's an 808 nanometer wavelength, and that's actually treating the inflammation and edema, and it's at a cellular level, and it's a continuous pulse that goes into that wavelength. The second wavelength is a 905 wavelength, which actually treats pain. So those two, and that's a pulse actually, not continuous wave. And so you're treating, you know, pain, inflammation, and swelling at a cellular level, which is unique for a laser to be able to do.
Wow, and I guess it's just colloquially called a cold laser because it's not hot. It doesn't hurt or anything, does it?
No, it's not hot. It feels very good, actually.
Well, maybe you can show me how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. There you are.
So you get some sporty green glasses to go with it.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. All right. I'll do anything for TV. Here we go. I got some green glasses.
So I'm going to demonstrate the TMJ treatment. And Donna actually just went through treatment, but I'm going to show you here how this works.
How do you feel, Donna? Did it work on you?
Feels a lot better. Donna started with a 7 as far as her pain scale goes, and just open for me. Good, and just hold open. And she started with a 7 pain scale.
On a 1 to 10 scale?
On a 0 to 10, 0 no pain, 10 worst imaginable pain. She started at a 7, and after 3 minutes and close of treatment, her pain level was a 2.
Wow. So now you use this for the dental type issues, I suppose, and TMJ. Can you use it for other things?
You can. I mean, any head and neck pain, wound healing, if we go in and extract a tooth, we can use it intraorally and help speed up healing and post-op pain so the patient's not as uncomfortable after an extraction. A lot of different things we can use it
So
for.
it actually stimulates growth and it gets rid of the pain.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Pain and inflammation.
Are there any side effects we should be worried about?
They're really not. You can't overdo it, you know. But in most cases, it only takes a few treatments, and in most situations, the pain does not return. So it's great.
Oh, it's pretty miraculous stuff you got going over here at Emerald Coast Dental Sleep Medicine. Dr. Tara Griffin, thanks so much for letting us get a peek behind the scenes here. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Favaloro from Forest Park Animal Hospital, and we're going to talk about the dangers of Halloween to your pet.
It's coming up. It's a good time to talk about it.
Now, when you think about holidays, you know, I think about 4th of July is scary to your pets.
Sure, absolutely. A lot of noise.
But how's Halloween
Well,
a danger?
I mean, if we try to think about it from their perspective, you know, people dressed up in costumes. A lot of costumes, a lot of little kids running around, a lot of noise, particularly at night.
People coming to your door.
Ringing the doorbell, knocking, yelling trick or treat, kids jumping around. You know, that's unusual for them. And then, you know, how many times, you know, are you going to open that door? Every, you know, in that 2 or 3 hour period. I mean, that gives ample opportunity for dogs to jet right out the front door, cats to get out. You know, they're scared, they're hyped up, and that may not normally be their personality, but you know, they're not in a normal situation anymore. And so you got a high traffic area, increased risk of getting hit by a car because you got so much traffic going through. So I mean, that's just one of many, you know, things.
Yeah, I would think that, you know, because, and if you have kids and you have a pet, you know, there's candy all over the place. I mean, what if Fido grabs some chocolate or something?
I mean, and we commonly, you know, there's certain holidays where we know the next 2 or 3 days, you can kind of predict the type of phone calls that we're going to get. So we're going to get a bunch of calls on my dog ate, you know, this much of a candy bar. People always know, you know, chocolate's toxic to dogs. And so that's one of the dangers. Thankfully, most of the chocolate out there is really just more milk chocolate, doesn't have as much.
But dark chocolate, I guess, would be really bad.
Most of the cooking chocolates and stuff do. But you know, the lollipop stick You know, a dog eats one
Yeah.
or two of those, or a cat. You know, those get stuck in intestines. You know, they eat enough candy with foil. That foil, you know, can form a blockage in the intestines. So those are other dangers that we see as well.
Our animals eat a lot of inedibles.
Well, they're curious, you know,
Yeah.
and they want to find out what it is. You and I will grab it and see what it is, but you know, they don't have those hands, so they stick it in their mouth.
Yeah,
chew on
and
it.
that's how they check things out. Yeah.
You know, also too, I mean, things like decoration. You know, we all put that fake webbing out. Well, you know, cats like to play with that and eat it, and then, you know, they've got a string that they'll swallow that'll form an intestinal foreign body or linear foreign body in there, and so those are dangerous to them as well.
Holy mackerel.
You know, so one of the things is, you know, maybe during the, you know, those hours of Halloween when people are knocking on your door, you know, put them in a safe place in the house with a special
Yeah.
treat, kind of keep them in the back, kind of protect them from, you know, all the chaos that's going on.
And there is a lot of chaos. You know, we lived in a neighborhood where we, all night long, trick-or-treaters,
Yeah.
all night long. I mean, if you live in a neighborhood where you have sidewalks and street lights, expect trick-or-treaters.
Absolutely, or big
Yeah.
neighborhoods, you know,
Yeah.
like I know Derby Woods gets killed. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Moet
We lived
Haddock
in
gets
North
killed.
Shore. We were like
Yeah.
inundated.
You know, I
yeah.
mean, even if they're in the backyard, you know, I mean, kids are walking by. I mean, the dogs are running back
Mm-hmm.
and forth. People, you know, kids, they're going to throw candy, you know, at them and
Yeah.
have fun. It'd be all that candy in your backyard.
And
you
taking
know.
something out of your pet is no picnic. I know I visited your Forest Park Animal Hospital one day, and you showed me what you had taken out of a dog's stomach, and it was a toy. I guess a stuffed animal. The smells were indescribable. Oh, by the way, I don't know how you do it,
Yeah.
but I mean that's a life-threatening thing for
It can
a dog.
be.
That
It
can
can
cause
be.
a blockage.
You know, and even if you get it out and everything goes okay, you know, you still got other, you know, cardiovascular events that can happen post-surgical, things like that. So it's not you know, it's certainly a risk you want to avoid, and an expense too. You know, and then of course, you know, the black cat issue too. You know, there's human cruelty out there. People
Yeah.
that do things that they shouldn't. So if you got a black cat, it's probably a good day to keep it.
Yeah, if you own a black cat, hide it. Yeah, there's some crazy people out there. It's just astounding to me that people would do that. But
Unfortunately.
they're out there. They're walking around. It's just crazy stuff. So the best advice for Halloween is maybe you want to dress your dog up. I've seen people do that. But
Well, you know, and that's another thing too. You know,
make
you dress
fun
them
of
up. Make sure it's comfortable. Make sure it's not real tight. Don't put
Yeah.
rubber bands on them. You know,
Yeah.
people put a rubber band around the ear to keep it so it doesn't fall off, and you know, leave it on for 6 hours. And next thing you know, the ear is dead because it didn't have a good blood supply.
I've seen people dress their animals up for
Yeah,
Halloween.
and
It
if it's
happens,
comfortable for them, great. But you know, make sure that it's safe for them too. That you don't like cause any strangulation to, you know, ear or limb or something like
Yeah,
that.
but keep them in the background, keep them calm, give them a little treat, and
Keep them safe.
have
from
some
all the
human
noises.
fun and just appreciate their dogginess
Absolutely.
during these events. Dr. Stephen Favaloro, thanks so much for coming back on the show and getting us smart on what to do with your dog on Halloween.
My pleasure. Trick or treat.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with David McMillan and his friend JJ from Bay County Animal Services. Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
And thanks so much for bringing JJ along. What's the story with JJ?
Well, she was an owner
puppy.
surrender.
Owner surrender, so somebody just gave her up.
Yes, sir. They couldn't take care of her no more, and just decided that they'd want to put her up, see if somebody would adopt her, find her a good home. She's a 5-year-old female, lab. She's spayed, kennel trained, good dog, leash trained.
Does she have a chip?
Yes, she does have a microchip.
Uh-huh.
Loves to be outside, very playful.
And she seems like a really nice, friendly dog.
She is.
I mean, and a beautiful dog too. And it's I guess, is it a lab?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Lab.
Yeah, looks like it. And that's a great breed.
It
labs.
is.
They're
And
smart dogs. They're friendly, you know, and they're very protective
Yes,
too.
they are. And most of the time, they're very good with kids, and you know, good family pet.
Well, I think it's nice that someone surrendered the dog. I mean, it's good to know that, you know, you just don't dump a dog somewhere.
Exactly.
If you can't take care of your animal, you know, go to Bay County Animal Services, no questions asked.
And you know, you can own or surrender it for $10. I mean,
It costs you $10. You
Yes,
drop
sir.
your dog off.
yes, sir. And
Okay.
if it's a stray, it's free. All you got to do is
Say,
stand
hey,
in
I
there
picked up this stray on the street.
Exactly.
And this young guy, what is he doing down
have-
there? What are you doing?
JJ,
What do you
what
got
you
there? But at any rate, JJ, someone turned her in.
Yes, sir.
You got her shots and everything.
Shots are all up to date. She's already spayed. She'd be ready to go home today.
She's a healthy dog that anybody can. And I love the collar that says "Adopt Me" on the collar. I love that. You know, plus her little and plus she's growling at something there. I don't know.
I have no clue.
But she's a sweet dog. Now, how does somebody adopt a dog? Do you just show up there? Can we call? Do you deliver?
Well,
No.
I wish we could.
Yeah.
That'd make a difference. But
Yeah.
you can call, come in, take a look, find you an animal, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted this one today, just come in, ask for her. You can take her for a walk outside, get to know her a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
$25 for adoption.
And that's a lot. I mean, you get a lot for your
Yes.
$25. You're getting shots, chips, everything, and the dog's like, you know, you could even go over there and take him for a test drive if
Exactly. Like buying a brand new car.
you like. Well, Damon McMillan from Bay County Animal Services, thank you so much for bringing JJ in. And look at this face. How could you not resist this face? And how do we get in touch with you guys? Can we call you?
It's 767-3333.
767-3333. Adopt JJ.